Sharon, Share-alike, yeah!
Hi guys, I'm Sharon Share-alike. How you doing? Today we're going to talk about putting in a zipper. A lot of people have trouble putting in zippers for some reason. You get like that dinosaur back look, and that's kind of what I'm going to talk about today. See, if you look on this costume, you'll see it's really nice and flat. Hope you can see that. And usually I work with 4-way stretch spandex material, and that seems to be what causes the problem because it's like stretching while you're sewing, and then when you're done it's all zigzag looking. So there's a couple things that I'm going to show you today that I use. First of all, the zippers that I like to use are these invisible zippers. You can get these at your fabric store. I get the 22-inch. And the other thing that I really like using is this Wonder Tape. Hopefully you can see that. And what this Wonder Tape does is it helps me tape the zipper to the fabric before I sew it, and then it washes away when you wash your costume for the first time. So it's not like sticky and staying there, it washes away. So the first thing that we're gonna do is when you get your zipper out of the packet, you're gonna notice that there's a little extra up here on the top. And what I do is I take that part and I bend it backwards, just like that. And then we're gonna go over to the machine and sew a little stitch on it. Okay, one thing that you're going to need is this zipper foot. And most machines come with a zipper foot, but if you don't have one, you can get one at your fabric store. They sell them there. And on a zipper foot, you can put it in the machine on the left side or the right side. So we're going to put it in the machine on the left side. And then we're gonna set our machine on just a standard stitch. This does not have to be a stretch stitch because zippers don't stretch, so you don't need a stretch stitch. I'll set it on about a 3 length. Okay, now like I showed you before, we're gonna turn that top piece down and flip it over, you see that? And then we're gonna set that underneath our presser foot, that zipper foot that we had. And then we're just gonna put a couple little stitches in it. And all this is doing is holding that in place. That's all you need to do. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. We're going to fold it under. And then I'm going to turn it the other way around. And put a couple stitches in it. All right, there we go. And of course I've got my little scissors on elastic because I always lose them. And I'm gonna trim up all these threads and get rid of them. Okay. And now we're ready to put this into our costume. Okay, now the next step is we're going to put the zipper onto our costume. Now this isn't actually a costume, it's just a piece of fabric, but let's just pretend that this is the neck of your costume right here. And then we're trying to, this would be the part, you know, you add your little finished thing. I just serged a piece on here. That would be like your neckline. So what you do then is you take your zipper and you unzip it and then turn it upside down, and it's gonna go right like this on the edge of this fabric. But before we do that, we're gonna turn it right side up and we're gonna put our Wonder Tape on there. So we're just gonna put this tape on right at the edge of the zipper. And you can get this tape at your fabric store. I found it in the quilting section last time, I don't know why. This stuff really is great. I love it. I use it a lot for like finishing edges on sleeves and stuff, and down by your ankles if you're doing bodysuits. Okay, now I'm not gonna put it all the way to the bottom. I'm gonna leave like about 1 inch or 1.5 inches, and then you just tear it off. Okay, now after you get it all stuck down, then you pull off this paper backing, because this is a double-sided tape. And now we're ready to position it onto our fabric. So we're gonna start right at the top, and then just position it all the way down. And you're not stretching your fabric or anything like that, you're just leaving it flat. That's how you keep from getting that alligator back. All right, we got that all stuck down, and now we're gonna go back over to this machine and sew again. Okay, now we're gonna sew the zipper to the fabric. So all you do is come in underneath your zipper foot here, and we're gonna put that down on top of the zipper. We're gonna sew forward, and then back, and then forward again. And watch what happens. That zipper is gonna go right up against that zipper foot. And we're just gonna sew all the way down, and that foot does all the work for you. It's really easy. And we're gonna go clear down to where our tape ends. And I can see here now where that tape ends, so that's where I'm gonna stop. So it's right here. And then I'm gonna back stitch to set it. And that's all there is to it. And see how finished that looks? I'm using different color zippers and fabric and thread because I want you to be able to see. Obviously, if this was a costume, I'd use a pink zipper. So now we're gonna attach the other side of the zipper. All right, now we're gonna put our tape on the other side of the zipper. We can see right here where we ended the other side. So we'll just start our tape right there. And we're just gonna put this tape on all the way up to the top. It's hard to keep these zippers flat. Okay. We'll just tear it off at the top. And then you would take and flip this over, and then you attach it to the other part of the other side of your costume. So we're gonna pull off that paper backing and start attaching this. Once again, you don't want to stretch that spandex at all, because that'll make it look zigzaggy. All right, there, we got that on, and you can see that right here is where we stop the stitch. And then, so that's where we're gonna start the stitch the next time, because we want these stitches to both end at the same place. So I'm gonna hang on to this and then go over to the machine and sew it. All right, so now I'm going to start this. You can see that right there where my stitching ended before. And so I'm gonna start this one in that same spot where that stitching ended. We'll put the zipper foot down, and we'll just sew forward and back, and then we're ready to go. And we're gonna run that zipper right along that foot again. And the Wondra tape helps to keep it exactly where it belongs. And then we'll sew up the top all the way to the very top, and then back stitch to set that stitch so it won't come undone. Okay, now the next step is we want to zip the zipper up a little ways, so we're going past where we sewed. And then I'm going to take and go about maybe an inch above where I stitched it, and I'm going to fold this together, and then I'm going to put a pin in, if I can find one here. Okay, I'm gonna put a pin in that. Pin it in and then back out. And what I'm trying to do is keep this zipper together like this, where it's even. And that way, it's hard to explain, but that way it stays positioned where it's supposed to be for the next step. Now for the next step, I'm gonna move the zipper foot over to the other side and hook it on. And then we're gonna do a small stitch. Now this is at the very bottom of the zipper. This isn't up at the collar, this is at the very bottom of the zipper. And I'm gonna take and put it about maybe like 2 inches, let's say, below where your stitches were before. And I've got both pieces of fabric sandwiched together, and I'm gonna set my sewing machine on our stretch stitch like we talked about before. You put it on the S, on a straight stitch, and then that does 2 stitches forward and 1 stitch back. Okay, now we're just gonna do about a 3-inch seam along here. And we're gonna go right up to our zipper. See how I'm going right along that seam? And I'm gonna go about 1 inch past it and then back stitch. All right, now let's see if you can see what that did. I'm gonna take out this needle, the pin that I put in, and then we're gonna look at the other side so you can see what the finished product looks like. So now we've got our zipper in there. See, there's our zipper at the bottom. And then look how nice and finished that looks at the very bottom. And that's how you get it to look really nice at the very bottom and flat. And then what I would do next then is just go over to my serger and serge the seam together, and I would go right up to this stitch. So I'll do that for you right now so you can see it. Okay, so now we're going to join together the 2 pieces of fabric and put it under the serger. If you don't have a serger, you should get one. They're great for sewing this 4-way stretch spandex. But now we're gonna go along and serge that edge. And here's my stitch that you can see that I just did for the zipper. So I'm gonna pull this zipper up, get a hold here and lay this flat, and then I'm gonna serge right up over that stitch. I'm not cutting the stitch, I'm just gonna sew over it. And then I'm just gonna serge right off of the fabric. And so now you can see we serged right past that. And that's gonna give us a perfect seam underneath our zipper. All right, so let's go back to the table and check this out. All right, so now we're back at the table and we're gonna turn this inside out so that you can see what our finished product looks like. Now obviously this is just a cylinder, but you know how it would look on your costume. And now we can zip this all the way up. And you've got a really nice finish, really nice and flat. And down here at the bottom, it looks really nice and finished at the bottom of your zipper. I hope this helped you learn how to put in a zipper. If you liked this video, make sure and share it with your friends, and I will see you all again soon. Take care.
Share and share alike. Yeah!
Don't forget to subscribe. Bye, guys.